Uh, no, our internet was like kind of spotty.
Yeah, it's been spotty
About
here.
15 minutes before I was going to do rules of acquisition. And then I just, I called up Gilbert, I called up you, and I said, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. The winds died down at about 4 o'clock, so we should be okay. So,
Alright, let's start our sharing here.
yeah, it's clear and 39 degrees. Poconos. Okay.
It's still windy here. It is getting colder. By the
Yeah.
second. It just keeps getting colder.
Yep. Yep.
The dog didn't want to walk.
It was too cold for her.
I don't think it was the cold. I think it was just the wind. She wasn't
Oh.
enjoying the wind at all.
Oh. Yeah. Was it, you have like a little doggy coat for her?
We got lots of coats. We have a lot of coats. Where am I now?
I had a B3 leather, in sheepskin coat, and I got one for Brewy when he was still alive. So like we were matching, when we used to go to the vet. I have to, um, I have to get with, I have to get with Thomas, and I have to reinitialize Shoutcast again because something didn't happen the first time. I think we had subscribed to it. They were supposed to send you an email that would give you a registration number to register the station onto the Shoutcast site. So,
Send it to me?
no, it was supposed to be sent to the the ghostclawprod
Yeah.
at gmail.com address. I never saw it. I looked and I was like, I never saw anything because apparently, um, I, um, I Googled the process of how to get, like us onto Shoutcast. The Google AI delved deeper into it than what Shoutcast, um, than what the FAQ did on Shoutcast, on the Shoutcast site. Didn't mention that. So whenever you get, I think it's because we had the basic. I think it's because we had like the basic membership. I think if we go to a pro membership, we might be able to get that.
Of
So I'm
course.
gonna have to see how much more it is. It's gonna be like per month. I'll talk to Thomas about it, but um, the um, uh, the app is already created for the App Store and for the Google Play Store. Um, so it's called Shoutcast Radio. So T Nathan, on my
We are
recommendation,
live, by
bought.
the way.
Okay. Well, T Nathan bought a Synology, so he has
Right.
that up and running. So we need to integrate the Synology, which is basically it's like an online hard drive, with the station, so that everybody can hear us. You know.
Hmm.
So
We want everybody to hear us?
Well, the
That was the plan.
Synology,
That was the plan, wasn't it?
yeah, that was the plan in the beginning. Um, it still is the plan to expand the radio station's reach. The Synology has something called Audio Station, which is an application. The application has provisions for Amazon Alexa.
Mm.
So if you enable those provisions in Audio Station on Synology, once somebody says, "Hey Alexa,
Play GCPR.
with it, play GCPR," it goes right to us. So, and that's what we want. Because
It's supposed to be.
yeah, it's just the whole integration thing. We have to find. I have to find out how the criteria from Voscast gets ported over to Synology, and how the web. You could basically run the website. You could run the GCPR website off of Synology. We have to find out how to do that. So, and once that's going, we got it.
I'm working on the sharing.
Okay. We are live on YouTube.
We had love on both. I keep sharing it to it, and I'm not sure that it's working.
No, we are. We're good.
It's supposed to be that simple, but I don't always know.
On Facebook.
I'm doing that right now.
I think we're live on Facebook. I just saw a message come up.
Should be.
Okay. 1 minute to showtime. Okay.
Interesting. Oh my. What am I missing here? 6:59. No, 5:59. 6:59. No. 6:59 can't come soon enough. It's 5:59. It's 5:59.
I have 6 o'clock right now.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Okay.
Try to remind me. I gotta tell you something after we're off.
Okay.
Live. It's comments, questions time. turn 601. There it is. Okay. Play. Play. Play.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through, but not so doggone seasoned that he won't try something new? A man who's old enough to know
And young enough to do.
well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
But it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you want a man with spirit who is not afraid to fight?
A man whose record shows that he will fight for what is right.
A loyal man who brings a job a fresh new point of view? Well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
Cause it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
And do you deny to any man the right he's guaranteed to be elected president no matter what his creed?
It's promised in the Bill of Rights to which we must be true.
So it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
And it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
Do you like a man who answers straight, a man who's always fair?
We'll measure him against the others, and when you compare, you cast your vote for Kennedy and a change that's overdue. So it's up to you, it's up to you, it's strictly up to you.
Yes, it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy,
Welcome, welcome, welcome from my humble second bedroom here in the Saucon Valley, part of the Lehigh Valley in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. A very, very, very windy Lehigh Valley, and getting colder by the second Lehigh Valley, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, part of these United States, Western Hemisphere, North American continent, from on this planet Earth, the only one we have, third rock from the sun in the Terran solar system, part of the Milky Way galaxy. This is the Kennedy Effect, live with you for the 16th of November 2025. 16th already of November 2025. We are halfway through November. I remember sitting here with you what I guess would have been the first Sunday in November, thinking, wow, I can't believe it's November already. I remember sitting here with you before, right after Halloween. Well, that would have been the first, because Halloween was a Friday, so that, just the year is evaporating. It's passing by so quickly, and that doesn't exactly break my heart. These 4 years can't go fast enough. It is amazing, though. We are halfway through November, which leads me to remind you that we will be with you. The plan is to be with you next Sunday. It's the following Sunday over Thanksgiving weekend that we will not be with you. We will wish you, of course, all an excellent Thanksgiving holiday weekend. And nobody should be talking politics during Thanksgiving. You don't want to talk politics with crazy Uncle Larry as the kids are at the kids' table and you're at the adult table. Nobody needs that. But that's the plan. I keep thinking that this week coming up is Thanksgiving, but we've got one more week to go. So the plan, of course, will be for us 16 and 7 is the 23rd, is to be with you on the 23rd. And then the following Sunday, of course, we'll be off for the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. And then our schedule will get quite sporadic as we go through the holidays, Christmas, New Year, and so on. Let's get into a little bit of the business end of the program, shall we? I want to say hello to Donna, and welcome to Donna, who is watching. Please, wherever you might be watching, and I don't mean where, just Facebook, and forgive me for sniffling, because it's allergy time. you might not think people suffer from allergies so much in the fall, but I am suffering. I am very stuffy today with all this wind and everything blowing around outside. It's been a rough allergy day, and it is a rough allergy day right now as we speak. So I'm sniffling, which is not attractive thing to do on the radio by any means, but it is kind of is what it is. Let's get through the business end of the program. You are listening and watching The Kennedy Effect for the 16th of November 2025. We are live right now on the Facebook pages of Ghost Claw Productions, Our Revolution Pennsylvania, the TCP Media Group, and of course our home group Facebook page for all things that surround the program, The Kennedy Effect on Facebook. We are live right now on 2 YouTube channels. The YouTube channel for Ghost Claw Productions Radio, GCPR, and our home for this program on YouTube, The Kennedy Effect on YouTube. It's really quite simple. You want to find us on Facebook? Look up The Kennedy Effect, you'll find us. You want to find us on YouTube? Look up The Kennedy Effect, you'll find us. You want to find GCPR? Just look up GCPR, you will find us. It's very, very simple. Searching things, I think, on YouTube are actually really quite easy to do. And I think it's a great way to take in the program. We still share the program to 100 plus places across the Facebook universe. Facebook is probably still the center of the program, so to speak. But YouTube, a very, very easy place to take in the program. Very, very easy place to watch recorded versions of the program if you ever miss any of the live program. I just think it's a very easy thing to do. And I should have said, by the way, that to every single group and person that shares our program or allows us to share our program on Facebook, thank you, thank you, thank you. We've shared the program to over 100 different places again this week. We couldn't do it without you. We deeply appreciate it. And, you are part of our program family, and we just couldn't do it without you. And we don't want to do it without you. So thanks so very much for allowing us to be part of your corner of the Facebook universe. The audio of the program, of course, goes out across 2 global internet radio giants, hot101.net. Our name is our web address. You can listen through our website at hot101.net, but you can also listen through our apps, Apple App Store for Apple devices, Google Play Store for Android devices, and for all other types of devices, the Tune In radio app. Go up to the search bar, type in hot101.net, and you can be listening. That very, very easy. You can also tell Alexa. George and I were talking about Alexa before we formally began the program tonight. You can tell Alexa to play hot101.net simply just by saying it. Hey Alexa, play hot101.net. GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio, GCPR.live. Our name is our website, GCPR.live. You can listen to us there, as well as our Android app, and of course watching us on our social media platforms. Following us immediately on hot101.net, the music returns. Following us on GCPR, pre-show for The Villain's View around 8:30. Full Throttle live from 9 p.m. Conversations with T. Nathan from 11. And Thomas kicks off your broadcast work week tomorrow morning from 8 with The Sound of Coffee. I am very, very pleased to have George here. It is always a better show when George is in the house, so to speak. So thank you so much, sir, for being here. George surviving the same windstorms that we have been having here in the Lehigh Valley the entire day. I should warn you that we are continuing to have these wind storms. The internet has been quite choppy here today and could very well go out at any moment. If we disappear, it's because I've lost power or because I've lost the internet. Not anything to worry about. No reason for concern. Just know that that's what the deal is that we're probably, as I'm recentering myself here a little bit, I just realized that somebody's been moving my screen. I'm not saying who. That actually could have been me, to be honest, because when I work from home, folks, and you don't ever want to see this. It is embarrassing at a minimum. At a minimum, it is embarrassing.
No, it's
If we had children, they'd be taken away from us. This room, it is insane.
Why do you think I have a sheet up behind me?
I know.
That's
Well,
worse than.
Yeah,
that's
but I'm
worse than what
talking
you
about.
have. No, that's
I'm
worse than what
talking
you have.
about across the table from me, and
Well-
from around 11 p.m. to, I don't know, almost 5 p.m. over here. If this were a clock, if we were moving along in a clockwise, is just looks like someone threw up electronic equipment in here. It looks like somebody's. It looks like a hacker's basement in here.
And at least you have 3 feet of space on either side of you. I have 20. I think I have 22 inches. I have right here and right here. That's it.
Insane.
It's just.
It's insane in here. But I noticed that I
It's
wasn't
like
centered.
broadcasting from inside,
Yeah.
like a Dalek suit.
I noticed
You
I
know,
wasn't
it's
centered
like-
anymore, so I must have pushed the screen around somehow without thinking about it. But anyway, so thank you for being here, sir. How are things up in the fine Pocono region?
Windy, rainy. Well, it was rainy last night.
It rained like
So-
crazy last night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There was a couple like really huge downpours, and it just stopped.
Yeah.
Then there would just be this huge downpour, and then it stopped. And it's not even like it was lighter rain in between. It was just like these buckets and buckets of rain, and then quiet.
Yeah.
it would dry up, and then it would pour
We were on
again.
the road last night, so
Oh.
we were driving. But it was really weird. Like you drive through like this teeming rain, and then when you get to a certain point, you're kind of like in like the eye of the storm, and there's nothing. And then you drive this teeming rain,
Yeah.
and then there's nothing, and then it stopped. And then today was just windy, like crazy.
It is, and it still is. It's dark outside, so I can't exactly see the trees moving, but I can hear it every now and then. I can hear the thrust of the wind up against, coming up against the windows and so on. And it's getting so much colder. It's really getting chilly outside now.
It snowed on Friday.
Yeah.
Was it Friday? Yeah, it was Friday morning. It
Yeah.
was snowing here.
Yeah,
And I was like,
we
I
had
was like,
snow
oh, boy.
squalls.
It's-
We had a few snow showers last week. It's, the Farmer's Almanac said it was going to be a very, very rough winter. Really rough winter with a lot of precipitation. Not all of it frozen, but a very wet, cold winter. And hey, maybe the old book is right, because we're already, it's cold. A lot of the leaves are gone already. Because they've all been blown off by the windstorms that we've been having all week, and it's cold, and we've had some snow showers, I should have said. Nothing has stuck to the ground quite yet because the ground's not cold enough, but
right.
just the fact that we've already had a little bit of frozen precipitation is a warning of what's to come. Kristen and I went to the Christmas market here in Bethlehem last night, which is gorgeous and wonderful, and it was not yet overcrowded, as I'm sure it will be as the season proceeds. That was nice. I think we all could use in these stressful times. I think Christmas might be coming exactly when we need it to show up. It was beautiful last night. It was chilly. I just haven't adjusted yet. Maybe I'm just old and I'm never going to adjust. But I am cold. I'm cold all the time. It's partly why I'm wearing a hat, because I'm cold. I'm trying to hold some heat into my head because I'm just cold. In my own house, I'm cold. But, when you got to pay for the heat, you get a little more... it's one of those ways that we turn into our parents. When somebody touches the thermostat, and you just know, like, you can feel it. Somebody touched the thermostat, and you have to pay for the heat, and so you don't touch the thermostat. Like you did when you were a kid, when you thought it was just... the truck came and delivered oil, and so now we can be warm, but it isn't that simple. Somebody has to pay for all of that. But anyway, too big. First off, the chat is open as well. Your comments and questions, of course, are always welcome. The phone line is open at 267-227-9189, 267-227-9189, 267-227-9189. We will take you at a minimum until 7 p.m. If the conversation is still going on, then we'll continue. If not, we'll say goodnight at 7 o'clock. There are two big topics that I wanted to get to. It's in the header for the program on both Facebook and YouTube. You'll know what we wanted to talk about. And so let's just get into it. The government shutdown ended this week. And my party is taking a lot of heat for it being over and for capitulating to Republicans and giving in and helping Republicans to end the shutdown without the same level of pain that they deserve to suffer, that they should politically suffer, that they should suffer in a media landscape, from a PR standpoint, a public relations standpoint. That ended this week without, I think, the necessary pain that Republicans should have suffered. It has been largely cast within my party, the only functioning political party remaining, by the way, as I said, as a capitulation, as just bending over and giving in. And I think there is some credence to that, but not to the level that you might think. Not to the level that you might think. Project 2025's goal was to destroy the federal government, to end the federal government as we have known it nearly since the founding of the Republic. It was to strip the federal government bare bones down to basically the Department of Justice and the Department of Defense. And that was about it. And that was Project 2025's goal, and it remains its goal. What we have seen with the wholesale firings and layoffs and furloughs of federal workers, the closing of departments, cutting off aid, massive tax cuts, it's all right there in Project 2025. All of it. All of it. All of it is right there for you to see and read. 918, I think it is, pages. With Trump being mentioned every 3 pages. He's mentioned in the report over 600 times. Which means he's in the report, on average, every 3 pages. So I think Democrats, while trying to hold out and being willing to keep the government shut down, to try to extend the tax credits for the Affordable Care Act, also found themselves caught in a very bad position. Because I think, here's what I think happened. Do I know? I wasn't there. Do I have a private phone line to Senator Schumer, Leader Schumer, or Leader Jeffries? I do not. Would they ever come on this program? No, I think they're probably afraid to. Sadly. The number of Democratic elected officials who are unwilling to come on this program is staggering. And mostly because they're afraid. Because questions are tough sometimes. They're not impossible. And you know me, I don't scream, I don't name call, I don't embarrass people, I don't try to pin them down, I don't do gotcha questions, I don't do any of that stuff, but yet Democratic elected officials continue to remain pretty afraid to come on the program. And we're not the hugest program in the world either. You know, we reach millions of people around the globe. It doesn't mean that millions and millions of people are watching us right now as we speak. They're not, because I can see how many people are. But I know that they watch the recordings. I see the comments come in sometimes for weeks after we do a show. And I know that anything that's on the internet is by definition global, because if you can find it, you can watch it. It doesn't matter what your language is. It doesn't matter if you can search GCPR in Japan, you can listen to us. If you can search hot101.net on the continent of Africa, you can listen to us. It's not hard. But I digress a little bit. That said, here's what I think happened. Now again, at the risk of being repetitive, I was not there. I do not know Leader Jeffries. I do not know Leader Schumer. I do not know the 8 senators that eventually voted with Republicans to shut down the government. Or to reopen the government, I should say. Getting myself backward here. But here's what I think happened. Democrats were completely united in the Senate about wanting an extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits so that people's Affordable Care Act premiums did not double, triple, quadruple, quintuple. And they were going to stand very, very strong and allow the government to stay shut down and allow Republicans to wear that shutdown, as they were doing. Republicans are in complete control of the federal government. They control all 3 branches. They own the entire thing. They could have ended the shutdown any time they wanted to. And here's where I think Democrats got screwed, or got painted back into a corner. Somewhere along the way, during these conversations that were happening between Democratic and Republican leadership, the Republicans told the truth. Not just that they didn't want to see the ACA tax credits extended, but that they didn't care that the government was shut down, and that they were perfectly willing to leave it shut down indefinitely. Republicans don't want government. The only government they want, Department of Justice, Department of Defense. They could do without pretty much the rest of government. They were not any bad press, any bad politics, any bad polling numbers that they may have been feeling as a result of the shutdown. And polling shows that Republicans were largely to blame for the shutdown. And oh, by the way, they were to blame for the shutdown. When you control all of government, you're in charge of how it runs, or if it runs at all. So what I think happened is that during these negotiations, Republicans looked the Democrats in the eye and said, we will keep the government shut till spring. Don't you understand? We don't care. We like that it's shut down. We like that there's no government. It's what we want. You're insisting you're going to keep the government shut down to get these ACA subsidies. You're never going to get them because we don't want you to have them. And we're perfectly happy to have the government shut down. We're happy to have 42 million people who depend on SNAP benefits starve. We're happy to have 16 million children starve. And oh, by the way, side note to Democrats, and I see my cousin is here and watching, which I'm very deeply appreciative of. Note to Democrats. Messaging note for you. It's not food insecurity. It's hunger. It's not food insecurity. It's starvation. Just like it's not financial insecurity, it's poverty. Willful and directed poverty. It's not a lack of health care. It's unnecessary early death. Time to start speaking an awful lot more plain and direct. So it's not just food insecurity. It's hunger. There's a big difference in the question when you ask your fellow Americans, do you think that 42 million Americans should be food insecure? Or do you think they should go hungry? Does it bother you that 16 million children are quote-unquote food insecure? Or does it bother you more that they're starving? So what I think happened is that Republicans told Democrats, keep the government shut. We don't care. We literally don't care. Congress doesn't meet. We're all getting paid. Our staffs are getting paid. We don't care if the military gets paid. We don't care if government workers ever come back to work or if they ever get paid. We don't care. We simply don't care. You think you're forcing us into a bad position by having the government shut. We don't care. We're happy it's shut. And that's what I think happened. And I think it forced Democrats to make a choice. They could keep the government shut down over the ACA subsidies, or they could vote to reopen it and at least get government workers paid and back to work and get SNAP benefits refunded, or once again funded. Not refund like a tax refund, but once again funded and operating. So they lost on the ACA benefits. They lost. And Republicans are going to have to wear that because they're the ones that killed them. They're going to have to wear that. If Democrats are smart enough in their marketing, which we generally aren't. But this is a Republican problem. They're going to have to wear it. But that's what I think happened. Does it completely take Democrats off the hook for not standing strong and not standing up? No, it doesn't. But do I think they had much of a choice? I don't think they had a hell of a lot of choice. I think they had to do what they did. I don't think they had a lot of choice. I think they painted themselves into a corner. And I think quietly, like I said, behind closed doors, Republicans told Democrats the truth and said, we don't care. We don't care that the government is shut down. We don't care. It can stay shut down forever. Who cares? We don't care. They don't care that the TSA was shut down. They don't care that thousands of flights a day were shut. They don't care that NASA stopped spending. That workers at NOAA and the National Weather Service were unpaid. They didn't care. Congress people were paid. Their staffs were paid. And they didn't even have to meet. They didn't have to work. They didn't have to have hearings. They just got paid. They didn't care that the military didn't get paid. They sure as hell didn't care that kids were going hungry. They didn't care that seniors were going hungry. They didn't care that seniors were risking not getting their Social Security checks. They didn't care. They don't care. They won't care the next time there's a government shutdown in January. They're not going to care then either. It's who they are. We have to be honest about it. They are pretty damn honest about it. Believe it or not. The oxymoron, as much as it sounds like, of an honest Republican, they're pretty damn honest about it. They don't take to the lectern at a press conference and say, by the way, we don't give a shit if the government ever opens back up again. By the way, we couldn't care less. They don't say that. They say, well, we want the government open. We'll do nothing for it to open, by the way. We'll do nothing to negotiate. We'll do nothing to talk about it opening. We don't want to back pay workers even though it's the law. We don't care that the military is not getting paid. They're not going to say any of those things out loud to the public, but I do think behind closed doors at the congressional cafeteria, at the House lunch, lunchroom, I guess you'd call it, cafeteria, lunchroom, the Senate lunchroom and cloakroom, and in the quiet of their offices, Republicans told Democrats, we don't care. We don't care if the government stays shut for months and months and months. We don't care. So you guys decide, what do you want to pay for? Do you want the military paid? Do you want government workers paid? Do you want SNAP benefits restored? Or do you want to keep the government shut down because of these ACA benefits, in which case we don't care if the government ever reopens? Which is it? What do you want? And Democrats had to make a choice. That's what I think happened. I don't know that I'm right. I don't think I'm wrong. But to be fair, I don't know that I'm right. But that's what I think happened. What do you think happened? What do you think happened? Do you care what happened? Are you just happy that the government's reopened? Did you notice that the government was closed when it was closed? How did it affect you? We heard Mike Jackson last week talk about the fact that he was not receiving his SNAP benefits and didn't know how he was going to feed himself. One of our own listeners and viewers who said flat out, I don't know how I'm going to eat without that supplemental assistance. So that's just my point of view. We'd love to know what your point of view is as well. 6:32 p.m. This is the Kennedy Effect live with you. Oh, there's Mike. Hello, Mike. I just saw Mike in a chat. It's funny, I didn't see him come in to say that he was watching. I just saw him in the chat. Hello, Mike. 6:32 Eastern Standard Time. It is dark outside. Gosh, it's dark outside. I feel like it's darker the older I get, the darker it gets. Maybe there's no light at the end of the tunnel for me. Maybe that's what that means. The tunnel just gets darker and darker and darker. I mean, 6:32, it looks like it should be midnight outside. It is amazing how dark it is, and it's been dark for 2 hours already, and it's just depressing. But anyway, yeah. So 6:33, this is the Kennedy Effect live with you for the 16th of November, 2025. We are live right now on the Facebook pages of Our Revolution Pennsylvania, the TCP Media Group, and Ghost Claw Productions. We are live on our home group Facebook page for all things that surround this program, The Kennedy Effect on Facebook. That is the name of our group, The Kennedy Effect on Facebook. In fact, I should probably put it in the chat, or unless George has time to put it in the chat. The Kennedy Effect on Facebook. And we've shared the program to about 100 different places across the Facebook universe, and to every single group, person, individual, administrator, groups, both local, regional, statewide, national, international, groups based on internet radio, based on politics, based on whatever. Any group that has allowed us to be part of your corner of the Facebook universe, thank you so very much for allowing us to be there and to be part of your corner. And I still think it's yours, by the way. I don't think it's Zuckerberg's. I think it's yours. Your corner of the Facebook universe. Thank you so very, very much for allowing us to be there. Where was I going? We are live right now on 2 YouTube channels. George told me earlier in the program, he was kind enough to check that actually is working. We are live right now on 2 YouTube channels. The YouTube channel for GCPR, gcpr.live. Just go to YouTube and search GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions. And we are live on our YouTube channel right now, The Kennedy Effect on YouTube. We try to make it as easy for you as possible to find everything. The Kennedy Effect on Facebook, The Kennedy Effect on YouTube. Very, very simple. You can watch all of our recorded programs there as well. If you ever miss any of the program, now, I don't think you've missed anything terribly significant, to be humble and to be honest with you, just to be humble. But if you ever miss the program, that's the best place to go, I think, is YouTube. You can find all of our programs there, The Kennedy Effect on YouTube and GCPR. The audio of the program blasts around the globe via 2 global internet radio stations, hot101.net, 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 and You can listen to hot101.net through the main website, which is literally hot101.net. You can also listen through our apps, Apple App Store for Apple devices, Google Play Store for Android, and the TuneIn radio app for all other types of devices that may not be Apple or Android. Go up to the search bar on TuneIn and type in hot101.net, and you can listen to us straight away. Great thing about the apps, you don't have to pay anything, you don't have to register, no blood donations, no credit cards, none of that stuff. Download the app, open it, and you're listening. Very, very simple. Very, very easy. Very, very, very simple and easy. You open it and you're listening. That's it. GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio, GCPR, Ghost Claw Productions Radio .live, GCPR.live. Same thing, go to our website and listen and find out everything you ever wanted to know about the station. See, read about all the hosts, our schedule, everything about us is there, and you can read it right there at gcpr.live, gcpr.live. Our Android app is operational, I believe, as well. I think I'm right. The Android app is operational. I see George shaking his head. Thank you for correcting me. The Android app is available as well. We continue to work on an Apple app and an Alexa tie-in as well. Let me get to some of the comments before I get into my second topic of the evening. Mike agrees with my assessment about the government shutdown. Very kind of you to do that. If you don't mind, Mike, I will read this one. Got a partial payment of $15 out of the $105 I'm supposed to get last Monday. These are SNAP benefits, I believe, that he's talking about. $15, it doesn't get you too far, folks. It doesn't feed you for too darn long. $15, you can easily spend that in a day. You can spend it in one meal. God, am I parched. I have no idea why I'm so thirsty. Maybe because I've eaten too many salty things today. It could be. Donna mentions, I worry about people with young children and babies. I worry about elderly not having enough. Hate what's happening. That's the thing, Donna. I don't think Republicans give a flying you-know-what. I don't think they give a poop about it. We've told the joke on the program a million times. Republicans want to return this country to the 50s. Except most people are thinking about the wrong 50s. They don't want to return this country to the 1950s. They want to return it to the 1850s. Or the 1750s. No unemployment, no SNAP, no Department of Education, no Department of Agriculture, no Interior Department, not a Department of Defense, but a Department of War. We didn't have the term fascism prior to the Civil War. That's what the South was. A handful of families who owned all the land, all the slaves, and controlled the entire economy of the southern states, of the Confederacy. It was fascism. The King of England, King George, was fascist. He took a cut out of everything. The richest among British society formed the government, filled the government. The House of Lords had much more power than it does now. Governorships were political patronage jobs. You did the king's bidding, even though there was a parliament. You did the king's bidding, or you didn't function in society. We didn't have the term fascism back then, but we've lived it in this country, and we're living it again. Republicans simply did not care that senior citizens would starve. They did not care that 16 million children would starve. There are soldiers, people who have volunteered to serve this country in the military, who are on SNAP benefits. They didn't care if they starve. They don't. Not didn't as if it was somehow past tense. They don't care if they starve. Flat out starve. Is that who we are? Donna mentions in the chat, I have a problem with folks being so cold-hearted. I have literally seen people laughing about this, and what's really sad, they are not well-to-do people. Common folk laughing at other common folk. I just don't get it. I will butcher this quote. I will destroy this quote because I'll get it wrong. But I'll paraphrase. I will make it very, very clear that I'm paraphrasing President Johnson, LBJ, Lyndon Johnson, when he said that if you can convince the poorest white man that a black man is trying to take something from him, then you have him, then you got him in your pocket. More or less. I'm completely butchering the quote. Someone will put the quote in the chat, because then I'll read it. And I have it somewhere in my photos, but I would never find it right now. I have so many photos and memes saved, I'd never find it. But when you can convince the lowest among us that someone else is trying to take something from them, then you have a kind of control over them. You play upon their darkest fears, and you have a kind of control over them. And it's sad. Mike mentions maybe he should take his old hunting gun and go out and hunt some food. Well, yeah, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, Mike. I mean, I don't giggle because it's funny. I mean, you have about 40% of the country who would tell you that's exactly what you should do. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Even as they receive government assistance themselves, by the way. You know, I saw something interesting on yesterday, watching The Weekend on MS Now, that at the beginning of Trump's second term, some 91% of Republicans trusted the way he was handling the economy. That has now dropped to 68%. You might think to yourself, 68% is still an awful lot. But this is Republicans. This is self-identified Republicans asked in a poll, do you trust the Trump administration's handling of the economy? And it has dropped from 91% all the way down to 68%. That means Republicans are beginning to lose faith. Even Republicans are beginning to lose faith in this economy and this administration, this regime. It is no normal administration. Oh, George, did you just do that to me? Yes, thank you. George found the quote for me, because I was never going to find it myself. I know Mike put a piece of it in the chat, but I have the entire quote now. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, give him someone to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. If that doesn't describe MAGA, I'm not sure what does, to be perfectly honest with you. And remember, colored people is not a term that we would use nowadays. This is a quote from Lyndon Johnson from the 60s, so the verbiage is 60s. Certainly not something that we would use today, but the quote itself goes back to the 60s, of course. George is going to put that quote in the Facebook chat. This is why it's always a better show when he's here. just is. It makes me look smarter. And that is no small thing, let me be honest. That is no small thing. Go
you give me
ahead.
too much credit, but
Oh.
sometimes you have to pay off that credit card at the end.
0.0. Oh, gosh. There was one other thing I wanted to get to. And that, of course, is the deepening scandal that is the Epstein files. I have not talked about the Epstein files here on this program because I think at the end of the day, it's more salacious than anything else. Epstein ran a hedge fund. It's how he became as rich and powerful as he did. Some of the richest people on the planet invested with him, and he made the money. I'm gonna sneeze. That's not good radio. I think I am gonna sneeze though. I got that itch up there now. If all of the Epstein story was just law breaking that he did in his hedge fund, Bernie Madoff style, if it was a Ponzi scheme, I don't think that people would be as interested in it as they are, because it deals with some of the most powerful people on the planet, and because it deals with sex in what is still, in comparison to the rest of the world, a pretty repressed sexual society here in the United States. I think that's partly why people are so interested in it. That's sad. We should simply be concerned about the victims. We should be concerned about the rule of law. We should be concerned about the law breaking that's happened as a part of all of this. As a result of it. That's what we should be worried about and concerned about, and what should be bothering us. But, okay, if all we can get to is the sex part, then so be it. And never, 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 never should this be discussed without thinking of the victims. The girls and young women who were the victims of all of this. I don't see how we can ever discuss one without the other. That said, I have not talked about it here because I do think it's more salacious. More on the salacious side of things than anything else. But this week we learned a lot. First off, for those of us who are Democrats, we've wanted the Democratic Party, and this kind of ties in a little bit to the shutdown. We've just wanted them to fight harder and stand up taller, stiffen their spines, punch back, realize that you're in a fight, and fight back. And this week, that's what Democrats did by releasing the 20,000+ emails that they had in their possession regarding Epstein, and that Trump has mentioned in those emails repeatedly. Now, so far, nothing that's been released has actually implicated Trump in any wrongdoing. And yet he continues to be obsessed to try to cover up and make sure that none of this stuff sees the light of day. Sorry, Republicans tell you this all the time. If you didn't do anything wrong, then you have nothing to fear. But somehow Mr. Trump seems to have a hell of a lot to fear. Or at least he's acting as if he has a hell of a lot to fear. Ugh. I'm not even getting into that, Mike. It's not funny. I don't know if George has a different opinion on that chat right there, but we'll leave that one be. The only way that this goes away is for everything. The Epstein estate, the FBI, the Department of Justice, the Democrats on the appropriate committees, and the Republicans on the appropriate committees release everything. Absolutely everything. It's the only way it's ever going to end. And even then, I don't know that it will go away. But it's the only way it's ever going to stop. Do I expect that to happen? No. But this does seem to me... Got an itchy nose. Try not to sneeze, folks. It does seem to me that this is certainly one of those things where the cover-up is worse than the crime. The crime is pretty awful. But if Trump has nothing to fear, then let everything come out. But he's acting like a man who has an awful lot to fear. The only way this ever goes away is for everything to finally come out. Just my opinion. I hope we continue to see more about it. It should not be the only thing that Democrats are hanging their hat on. But it is exemplary of this regime. Obfuscate, lie, cover up, distract, disseminate, dismantle, control. Everything that this regime is about is wrapped up in this Epstein thing. We got deeper problems than Epstein, but it is emblematic of this regime. And it never goes away until everything comes out. And Trump doesn't want to see it come out. Therefore, he extends his own scandal. He extends his own controversy. But when people are covering things up, they never figure that out. They never seem to figure out, if I just tell everybody everything, this will go away sooner. They cover, and they cover, and they hide, and they cover. I don't always understand it. I don't always get it. Am I wrong, George? Does any of that make sense to you? Does anything I've said tonight make sense? Because that would be a rare thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you know you did wrong and you admit it, I mean, but the thing, well, you know, the pedophile thing is
there generally is no forgiving that.
Yeah, there
Right.
there is no.
That's why I'm
forgiving
saying if this Epstein scandal was basically only about his hedge fund, these are financial crimes, I think most Americans wouldn't care. I think the overwhelming majority of people who say that they care about this issue would not care if it was simply high-powered financial crimes. How many people really lost sleep over Bernie Madoff? Not many. We followed it, and it was a story, and it was a story that was emblematic of the rich and all that they could get away with, and for how long they could get away with it. But if it was the same kind of story, I just don't think it would be garnering the same kind of attention that it is. Right. I think deeply, unfortunately, it's because it's sex.
It has the potential,
which by the way,
destroy the lives of people who have destroyed other lives. But
exactly,
so.
Which, by the way, if you're one of the victims, you're not thinking of it as a sex scandal.
Yeah.
You're thinking of it as an abusive power scandal, as you should. That makes sense. But I do think that If it didn't have to do so much with sex, we wouldn't be paying as much attention to it.
Well,
Even
I mean,
the cover-up part.
I mean, you saw what happened to Prince Andrew. He's been, I guess, he's been excommunicated. His status as prince has been taken away.
Everything's been taken.
Everything's been ripped from him. So
yeah.
So, if that happened to him, then you know that there's something there. There has to be something there. But we shall see. That's all you can do.
Yeah, it's a shame that we largely pay attention to it because of the sex part. But which I certainly hope does not make it sound I'm minimizing it in any way, because I'm certainly not. If you're a victim, if you're a victim's a member of the family, there is no minimizing it.
Right.
You'll never be the same. It's something I'll never have to deal with. Thank goodness. But yeah, I don't know.
Those they tried to deflect at every corner. They try, it's deflect, demean, deport, and it's that's the 3D presidency.
Really well said. Yeah.
But it's all. I didn't do it.
I should.
Oh, wait a minute!
Yeah.
I did it. No, he made me do it. He's the one. The one. Oh, wait a minute!
I did what? But look what they did
now. Oh well.
Oh, but look what they did.
Yeah, but look what they did. Yeah. I know.
I have to put that in the chat. That's a brilliant, and I need to steal it and remember it.
Okay. Well, I get 35 cents every time you say it. No.
The 3D presidency. Deflect. Did I spell it right? No, I didn't. Because I think I can type and I can't.
Deflect, demean, deport. I mean, I see those. I see the Congressional Oversight Committee. When they're talking like the Pam Bondi, and they're talking, and they're talking to Kristi Noem, the puppy killer.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that, and I'm like, they just won't answer just answer the question, yes or no.
I would bring up to something that happened. We'll end the program with this. If you didn't see this on Friday, go to YouTube, see what kind of video you can find on it. It is immensely disturbing. There's an ICE facility in Chicago, and there were free speech protesters protesting outside of that. A number of the protesters were members of the clergy from multiple denominations. They wanted to get into the facility so they could provide faith care, if you will, to the inmates inside, or to the I can't really say residents, to their inmates. I don't know what else to call them. As they approached the quote-unquote law enforcement line to say, we would like to visit people inside and allow them prayer and offer them this faith care, the clergy people were beaten, and the protesters around them were beaten and pushed back behind cement barriers. Many were arrested. Is that where we are now? That we are beating members of the clergy for simply trying to do what their calling has called them to do? Is that where we are now? I suggest that you all find this, that you find any video that you can find of that. And it happened Friday, if I'm not mistaken. It was Friday in an ICE detention center in Chicago. Detainees is the word I was looking for, because it's an ICE detention center. Detainees was the word I should have been looking for. We will leave you on that note. It's a sad note, unfortunately, not the kind of note we like to end up on, but we usually try to find something hopeful toward the end of the hour or toward the end of the program. But that's where we'll leave you for this program. It was good to see all of you again, as usual. We appreciate you all being here. I'm going to maybe get a little dinner, I'm not sure. And we're back to work tomorrow. Woohoo. But thank you all for being here. To everyone, and I should say a very special hello to the folks listening around the globe. GCPR and Hot 101 have a global reach, and we know from the analytics and the numbers that there are folks listening outside the country. I want to say a special hello and thank you to all of you who may be taking in our program from anywhere outside the United States. A special hello and welcome and thank you to all of you for being part of our program. Itchy nose, I'm going to kiss a fool or get in a fight. And try not to sneeze all over the place. So thank you all for being here. Here's our plan. We'll be back with you again next Sunday. The following Sunday is Thanksgiving weekend. We'll leave you alone for that weekend, and then we'll see you again in December. So we'll be with you next week. Off for Thanksgiving, back in December. That's the plan. For everyone at hot101.net, that's DJ Lex, DJ Earl, and the entire hot101.net family, thank you for allowing us to be part of your broadcast day yet again. It has been our honor. It is an honor and a privilege to be part of the hot101.net family, and we appreciate it very, very, very much. We will return to you next Sunday from 6 p.m. right here on hot101.net. For those of you listening through hot101.net, the music returns right now. GCPR family, thank you for allowing us to be part of your broadcast day. Please like, subscribe, share, hit all of the social medias. This is your call to action, please. Like, share, subscribe, follow on all the different social medias: TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, all of it. Anything that you can do to help promote the station is good for us, and we appreciate it very, very much. Like, subscribe, follow, and share. For everyone at GCPR, that's Thomas and Gambit and Gilbert and T. Nathan and Solid Blue, Pastors Best and Clinton, and everyone at GCPR. You got the Villains View pre-show around 8:30, 8:40, 8:45, full throttle live from 9 p.m. Conversations with T. Nathan from 11, and Thomas kicks off your broadcast work week tomorrow from 8 a.m. And I should be in the chat there at some point during that program as well. So for everyone at GCPR, thanks for listening in. We will see you again next Sunday. For those of you on our streaming platforms, thanks for being with us yet again. I appreciate it so very, very much that you are with us for this abbreviated program. We continue to get ourselves kind of back into the flow of things after a long summer break, a break that we desperately needed, a break that I desperately needed, a break that I probably should still be on. But it's time to get back into things. So we appreciate you being back with us. For all of you at Facebook, YouTube, thank you so very, very much. Again, I really think YouTube is the best place to go. If you miss any of the program, you can catch it all from there. For Lynn and George and Kristen and Daisy the dog and April Riddick, thank you so very much for allowing us to be part of your broadcast day, part of your life. We appreciate it. You can watch the Villains View most of the same places that you can watch us. And we will see you again